with news coverage you can count on. You're watching WGAL. This is News 8 at 11.
A weekend on the brink of war ends with a possible settlement. Good evening, I'm Dennis Butterbaugh. Thank you for joining us tonight. The United Nations is now sending weapons inspectors back to Iraq. Even though Saddam Hussein says those inspectors will now have full access, Middle East expert Dr. Jack Fischel of Millersville University says Hussein should provide a list of the weapons he still has.
Once we get that list, UN inspectors could locate those things, destroy them, and then you can see something at the end of the tunnel. Until that's done, those UN inspectors will be in there forever.
UN Secretary General Kofi Annan praised President Clinton for his, quote, courageous and difficult decision to cancel a military strike. But Annan warned that in a future crisis, military force might be needed. Let's get the latest now live from NBC.
Good Monday morning, everyone, from Kuwait City. One last chance. That's what the UN and especially the U.S. has given Saddam Hussein. One last chance. No one knows that better than Iraq at this point. The message to Iraq and to Saddam Hussein: comply completely or else. Iraqis have reason to celebrate. There's an overwhelming fighting force in the Gulf, and for the moment, Baghdad is no longer the bullseye.
This is a victory for all those who express their firm determination that United Nations Security Council resolutions must be respected. It is a victory for diplomacy and resolve.
For Iraq, it's a last-minute reprieve. Saddam Hussein promising to allow UN inspectors free access to any suspected Iraqi weapons facility.
Now let me be clear. Iraq has backed down, but that is not enough. Now Iraq must live up to its obligations.
The first test comes soon, with the return of these UN inspectors to Baghdad.
I'm going upstairs now to order our people back. They'll be going back on Tuesday morning.
For the first time on the Iraqi issue, the UN Security Council has unanimously agreed. But Washington says it's Baghdad's last chance. Any act of Iraqi defiance could launch an attack without warning, without consulting the UN.
Well, I hope there won't be a next time. We've been through this many times, and from the discussions that are going on, I'm not sure governments will tolerate a next time.
For now, U.S. forces in the Gulf remain on alert, the most visible sign this crisis could again reverse into confrontation. Britain has forces here in Kuwait ready to strike at Baghdad as well. More than any other American ally, London's leaders echo Washington's position. This really is Baghdad's last chance. I'm Mark Strassman reporting live from Kuwait City. Let's go back to you.
U.S. Senator Arlen Specter of Pennsylvania is predicting that U.S. policy will change, so we have a plan to deal with dictators like Saddam Hussein.
I think it requires more analysis, and my instinct that we'll come out with a policy to do what it takes to get rid of tyrants and monsters like Saddam Hussein.
Be sure to stay tuned to News 8 for the latest developments with Iraq. In other news tonight, a weekend of torrential rain is forcing emergency crews to release water from a dam, and that is causing flooding in Houston, Texas. Many Houston residents who refused to leave their homes had to be rescued today as the water rose. So far, no injuries have been reported because of that flooding. Just last month, storms and flooding across southern Texas was much worse, causing major damage and killing 31 people. Patty Derrick has our first look at the weather, and when we see those pictures, it makes us appreciate our weekend.
Yes, we definitely had some wonderful weather. Taking a look at the U.S. satellite, definitely the storm system that was along the Gulf Coast is now moving eastward, bringing just some light rain as it's dying down. And for us, we had beautiful weather today, high pressure that brought sunshine. It's going to continue to move south of us, and so we're going to see an evening that's going to get rather cold. Let's take a look at the planner. For tonight, fair skies, 37 degrees. Some areas could see around freezing. Tomorrow, increasing clouds and 54 degrees. We'll let you know if any rain's on the way with the 5-day forecast, so stick around.
Sounds good, Patty. Thank you. They say you could see the smoke and flames from 2 miles away. Firefighters say the fire that killed a York County woman is the worst they've ever seen. The volunteers say they knew 73-year-old Tressa Bloomfield could not have survived inside that farmhouse.
You do the best you can, try not to let it bother you, but the fact that a human life was lost It's always tough to deal with.
Friends and neighbors say Bloomfield was a registered nurse who spoke 7 languages. Neighbors say she lived alone since her husband also died in a fire more than 20 years ago. For the 3rd time, a Cumberland County jury is going to hear the case of a Susquehanna Township man. David Crane goes on trial again tomorrow on charges of stabbing 2 men at a Hampton Township bar in October of 1997. Crane's other 2 trials in March and July ended with hung juries. Crane and his family say the case is about racism, while families of the white victims say that isn't so. If convicted, Crane faces 25 years in prison or life in prison because of Pennsylvania's 3 strikes law, since he has 2 prior violent offense convictions. The man who made the phrase "Black Power" a rallying cry of the civil rights movement has died. Kwame Ture died today in Guinea in the 1960s. Ture was known as Stokely Carmichael. Carmichael was among the most fiery and visible leaders of black militancy in this country in the 1960s. The reported cause of his death was prostate cancer. He was 57. And still to come on News 8 at 11, an Ohio company is looking to place a value on Dauphin County homes. You saw it earlier on Channel 8, but how realistic is the movie Twister? You'll hear from an expert. And a downtown Lancaster building is going green for the holidays. You'll see the traditional Christmas kickoff coming up.
The best-selling compact pickup in America. The best-selling truck on the planet. The only trucks on the road with a 4-door Super Cab standard. The 1999 Ford F-150. The 1999 Ford Ranger. Need another reason? Now, during truck season, check out Ford Ranger for just $179 a month. Or lease the big F-150 for only $229 a month. Ford F-150, Ford Ranger, built Ford tough. 2 great reasons to see your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
Johnson, I'd like to see some ideas on saving the company money. I'll be back first thing in the morning.
Think.
That's the dumbest!
Think.
Help!
Well, Johnson, Staples. That'll save us a lot of money. You are a genius.
Staples has guaranteed low prices, like 15 pens for 88 cents. Staples, yeah, we've got that.
The first snowfall is a sign to call old friends and celebrate the season with something new. Chicken soup, the way it was meant to be made. Introducing Simply Home. Plump, tender white chicken, wild and white rice, and a savory stock. It's probably why soup spoons are bigger. New Simply Home. Soup good enough to call your own.
Plymouth people. They know a good thing when they see it, and they know where to get it. On Plymouth Neon, get $1,500 cash allowance or low 1.9 financing for up to 60 months. Or choose Plymouth Breeze with $1,000 cash allowance or low financing. Even the Plymouth Voyager now costs less. And check out the new Plymouth Prowler. Join the Plymouth people at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer. See your Central Pennsylvania Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
Thank you for making News 8 the most watched newscast in the Susquehanna Valley. Now, coverage you can count on continues on News 8.
Dauphin County residents are in for a visit, but the visitors want to see your home, not you. News 8's Emily Ryan says it's all to make sure property owners are paying their fair share of taxes.
By raking leaves, these kids are helping take care of their grandparents' home. A home Leon and Mary Nark built 41 years ago, and one that's grown with the generations.
You see, we needed extra bathrooms, so we have 2 and 2.5 right now, so we're enough for the family.
Thing is, improvements affect how much they pay in property taxes. And starting this week, a team of data collectors will be knocking on their door and every other one in Dauphin County to calculate each home's value. It's the first countywide reassessment since the 1970s.
That this is necessary so that we can have an equitable tax base and that the owners are knowing that everyone is on the same footing paying their fair share.
The state Supreme Court ordered the reassessment after some homeowners complained of high taxes, but not everyone's convinced it's a good idea.
I resent being reassessed every time I turn around. I live here 23 years. This is the second time we're being reassessed.
You don't have to let an appraiser into your house if you don't want to. Instead, he can simply observe everything from the outside, then have you fill out a questionnaire about the inside. The Copenhavers are opting for the questionnaire. As for the narcs, they don't seem to mind.
We have nothing to hide, though. We certainly wouldn't object to their coming into the house. That's definite. They might lower the assessment for all we know.
Anything's possible. In Dauphin County, Emily Ryan, News 8.
An Ohio company should take about a year to complete those reassessments. The new tax rates then go into effect in the year 2002. It was time to deck the halls in Lancaster this morning, or should we say deck the buildings. The annual holiday tradition of setting up the giant Christmas tree on the former Watt and Shan building in downtown Lancaster. Workers hoisted the 85-foot tree into place and decorated it with lights and ornaments. This signals the official start of decorating the city for the upcoming holiday season. The official mayor's tree lighting ceremony will take place on Friday evening in Lancaster, December 4th at 7 o'clock at Penn Square. Many of you saw the NBC movie Twister tonight here on Channel 8. The blockbuster film shows how storm chasers look for tornadoes for research and for thrills. A real-life storm chaser says the movie is certainly entertaining, but is far from accurate. Dr. Howard Bluestein was a guest lecturer at Millersville University on Thursday. Dr. Bluestein says don't believe everything you see in Twister.
It'd get awfully close to the tornado. There was debris flying in the air around them. That's also something that we don't do. That's much too dangerous.
Dr. Bluestein says storm chasers also rarely find tornadoes to study. He says you only see them about 10% of the time during searches in Oklahoma, the busiest area for tornadoes in the entire world. Weather is coming up next on News 8 at 11 as we look live on Harrisburg Skycam. It's a clear night. Patty will have your forecast for the entire week coming up. But first, let's check out tonight's lottery numbers. In the Pennsylvania Cash 5, 11, 22, 32, 34, and 36. The Pennsylvania Daily number is 069, Pennsylvania Big 4, 4560, and the Maryland Pick 3 is 992. We'll be right back.
How long does it take to turn Dodge Durango from the sport utility with the most passenger room in its class into the one with the most cargo room? Not long enough. Durango, new ground for the new Dodge.
Each new day brings more new fun, memories in the making.
Seems like every day the kids just do something that I want to take a picture of.
Every smile's a special one, a treasure for the taking.
I can't wait around for specials. I might miss something important, so I take my film back to Walmart. Their prices are as low as they can be all the time, every day, and they do a great job.
Always great pictures, always low prices. At Walmart.
So come to Wendy's for a 99-cent junior bacon.
Man, that cheeseburger looks good. I love bacon. You fly, I'll buy. No, you go to Wendy's and I'll buy. Plus, I'll throw in Biggie fries. Yeah, well, I'll throw in Biggie fries and Biggie drinks.
When the craving hits for a Wendy's hot and juicy 99-cent junior bacon cheeseburger with 2 strips of bacon, you'll do anything to get one.
Junior bacon cheeseburgers, Biggie fries, Biggie drinks, and gas for your car. I don't have a car. Well, I'll buy you one.
Hey, for a car, I'll go.
Dave?
Tonight's weather is sponsored by your South Central Pennsylvania Buick dealer.
There are hundreds of ways to show you are a smart shopper. Get $1,500 cash back or thousands in finance savings on a new Buick. Great cars, great savings right now at your Buick dealer. With as low as 1.9 financing on 99s, you will save thousands in finance charges or choose cash back up to $1,500 and get the OnStar system at no extra charge. Show how smart you are with great cars and great savings at your Buick dealer.
I have a couple of days off coming up. I'd like to have the weekend weather on Monday and Tuesday. If you could arrange that, that would be nice.
Yeah, right. Okay.
See if you can work on it.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
In the meantime, it is going to get quite cold tonight. As a matter of fact, some areas reaching near freezing. Let's take a look at the forecast. Overnight tonight, clear to partly cloudy, lows of 35 to 40, winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. And then waking up tomorrow morning to partly cloudy skies, some sunshine. A little chilly, though, temperatures of 42 to 48. Winds will be light, though. That'll give us a bit of a break. And then for the afternoon, we'll see increasing clouds. It'll be mild, about 54 to 59. Winds out of the south this time at 5 to 15 miles an hour. A live look at Super Doppler 8 shows nothing this hour, so let's just go to the temperatures. Already quite cool. We have 44 in Shamokin, 40 in Lewistown. Gary Musser over in Thompsontown called in with lower 40s. Jerry Ashway in Chambersburg called in with lower 40s. 37 in York, 41 in Lancaster, and in Harrisburg. As we take a live look over Lancaster this evening, we see it's just dry, clear, and quite chilly as we have our current conditions of cloudy skies. Well, no, we'll make it clear. Temperature of 41 degrees. Our dew point is 30. The humidity 65%. The barometer is steady and the winds are out of the northwest at 8 miles an hour. High today reached 60 degrees, very pleasant, a low of 43. No precipitation, sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:54. And the river stages, oh, they're reflecting minor changes. Harrisburg tomorrow morning, same reading that you had today, 3.1. Looking back on weather folklore, this date back in time, we had severe weather in the Northeast. 14 tornadoes in New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania, and one of those tornadoes killed 9 in New York, and thunderstorm gusts of 100 miles an hour in Malvern, Pennsylvania. That was this date in 1989. Taking a look at the satellite and the radar, though, we had very pleasant weather around the Susquehanna Valley as high pressure kept skies clear. Just a little light precipitation for northern Pennsylvania this morning, and really the only other stuff they had was in northern Maine with a little light snow. As a matter of fact, over the Great Lakes, not much moisture here. We're seeing right now with the clouds following a pretty good zonal flow, that straight west to easterly flow. Not a lot of moisture in it. This is the next system that'll make its way into our region, probably Monday night into Tuesday, bringing us some cloudy skies, maybe a little bit of rainfall. As a matter of fact, if you want to see that meteor shower, that's going to be early on Tuesday. You may not be able to see it with the cloudy skies. Next system, though, out to the west, could be bringing us some rain by the weekend. But in the meantime, high pressure is going to bring us a cool evening. Then tomorrow, 54 degrees. Those clouds starting to increase. Tuesday, a high of 50, maybe just a few spritzes here and there. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, it's looking rather nice with highs getting up there to near 60 degrees. Friday, there's that chance of rain once again. The planner for tonight calls for partly cloudy skies when you're waking up. We're going to see after overnight lows of in the 30s to around 40 in the city. We'll see partly cloudy 46 with increasing clouds and 54 degrees for the afternoon.
Okay. Not as good as the weekend weather, but I'll take it.
Oh, okay. I'm glad we could keep you satisfied.
Good compromise. Thank you, Patty. Coming up next in sports, John Reppitz will tell you how the Steelers did today. And in a battle of the basement dwellers, we'll show you which bad team turned out to be just a little better.
During S&K's holiday sale, these camel hair sport coats are $139.97. A town raincoat by London Fog, $99.97. And wool blend suture 2 for under $200. Hurry to S&K's holiday sale, because if you go to a department store, you're gonna strike out.
Don't miss your Chevy dealers
Non-stop.
Blacktop Coast to Coast
Save the most.
sales event. The biggest cashback offers in Chevy history. Get your 1999 Cavalier and get $750 cash back. Or lease your Cavalier for just $199 a month. $199! So get to your local Chevrolet dealer now for their non-stop Blacktop Coast to Coast Save the Most sales event.
Act fast. Won't last.
You stay put. You fly. You thrive in the center of big ideas. You're fulfilled by life's little moments. You scream. You whisper. You create roles and reverse them. And as different as you are, one healthcare company can take care of every one of you.
Yellow Pages. It's life, listed alphabetically.
the pressure to conform. And then there's the Mazda 626 with a style all its own. Do not go gently into that PTA meeting.
Eagles lost to some good teams this year, but they can't feel too good about this one.
You know, when you have an offense like they used to have, like with Randall Cunningham and Ricky Waters, to watch them these days, boy, it hurts. When you consider how the Eagles have played this season, not many games on their remaining schedule appeared to be winnable. Today's game at Washington did, considering the Eagles had already beaten the Skins once this year. But the Eagles offense just couldn't get anything going today. Bobby Hoying, just 15 of 31 for 110 yards, has a pass tipped here. Chris Dishman returns it to the 1 yard line, but as you can see by the score in the upper left there, the game was already out of reach. Rookie Skip Hicks scores 3 touchdowns for Washington. Eagles have scored just 12 points in their last 3 games. Ray Rhodes says this is the low point of the season. The final today was 28-3.
And the encouraging thing a week ago was we didn't turn the football over. And now you come back this week and you turn it over, and your inability to make plays. And that's the story of this game here. I mean, we came down here and did not get it done.
Now, when you think after losing to the Oilers at home just a couple of weeks ago, the Steelers wouldn't have trouble getting the job done today in the rematch in Nashville. Well, think again. Some of the action. Cordell Stewart in the first half hits Chris Fuamatu-Mafala, 26 yards for the touchdown. Pittsburgh leads 14-13 at halftime. Now, with regular kicker Norm Johnson injured, Matt George had a field goal attempt blocked. So late in the fourth quarter, it's still 14-13. Instead of having George try a 41-yard field goal, Cower elects to go for it. Stewart is sacked. The Oilers take over and drive for the game-winning field goal by Al Del Greco. They add a touchdown when the Steelers fumble the kickoff. The final 23-14. The Steelers are now 6-4. The Steelers are swept by a team for the first time since '93. Ravens and Chargers in San Diego, and Ted Marchibroda is hot, and with reason. Some action here. Jermaine Lewis apparently breaks a punt return. Now, the punter, Darren Bennett, attempts to trip Lewis. He goes down but gets up and keeps going. Although the replay shows there was no contact, the referees ruled that he was tripped. Down by contact, it is a 10-yard penalty against the Chargers. No touchdown. And boy, was it costly, because the Chargers won it 14-13. One of the marquee games today, the Falcons and the Niners. Late fourth quarter, Atlanta ices it. Chris Chandler to Terrence Mathis, 78 yards. Atlanta is now 8-2 and alone in first in the NFC West. The final was 31-19. Strange play at the end of the first half between the Jets and the Colts. Mike Vanderjagt attempts a 63-yard field goal, misses by a large margin. Aaron Glenn takes it 4 yards deep in the end zone and returns it all the way for a touchdown. So the Jets led at halftime, but the Colts come back to win it when Peyton Manning hits Marcus Pollard for 14 yards in the final minute. The Colts shocked the Jets 24-23. Kerry Collins making his first start for the Saints. 6 minutes into the game with the Rams, he hits Cam Cleveland for the touchdown. Collins 13 of 26 for 150 yards. The Saints win it 24-3. Just days after undergoing arthroscopic knee surgery, Randall Cunningham started for the Vikings against Cincinnati. 13 of 20 for 224 yards, and this pretty bomb to Randy Moss, good for 61 yards and a score. The Vikings improved to 9-1. The final was 24-3. An interstate battle between Florida, Jacksonville hosting Tampa Bay. Bucks are up by 1 late in the fourth, but Fred Taylor, the rookie, takes it 70 yards for the game-winning score, and the Jags pull it out by a final of 29-24. Elsewhere in the NFL, Miami takes care of Carolina. Buffalo gets by New England. Oakland over Seattle by a field goal. Dallas holds off Arizona. Green Bay by 30 over the Giants. And tonight, Detroit beat Chicago. The father of New Orleans Saints head coach Mike Ditka died this weekend. Michael Ditka was 80 years old and was suffering from Alzheimer's disease in a Western Pennsylvania nursing home. The funeral will be Tuesday in Aliquippa. Padres third baseman Ken Caminiti has signed a 2-year deal to return to the Houston Astros, where he spent the first part of his big league career. Despite missing 31 games last year, he still hit 29 homers and drove in 82 runs. Monetary terms were not announced, but he did turn down a 3-year, $21 million deal to remain in San Diego. Dale Earnhardt Jr. clinched the NASCAR Busch Series championship today simply by starting the race. Good thing he had engine problems and finished 42nd, but still had enough points to beat Matt Kenseth by 48. Closest race of the, perhaps the closest race of the year, Jeff Burton edges Jimmy Spencer by half a car length. In women's collegiate hoop action, top-ranked Tennessee had its 46-game winning streak ended today by number 5 Purdue. Stephanie White-McCarty led the way for the Lady Boilermakers with 24 points. This is the first loss for Tennessee since March of '97. Lady Vols will be gunning for their 4th consecutive national title this year. The final was 78-68. Locally, the Shippensburg women, ranked number 5 in the preseason poll in Division II, gets their 2nd win of the year. They beat St. Michael's 84-75. Penn State's 31-point victory over Northwestern yesterday really did not prove anything. The Lions have proven they can win games they are supposed to win, but close games are a different story. And even Jopa has doubts if his team has what it takes to win the close ones.
We're okay, but we're not. You know, you're not if we had to make a 94-yard drive as we did against Illinois in '94, I don't know whether we could do it. Maybe we could. Maybe I'm underestimating these guys. But we just don't have that kind of precision. We're not precise yet.
This week's AP poll still has Tennessee number 1. ESPN USA Today poll has Kansas State number 1. In the AP poll, no changes in the top 7. Arkansas lost to Tennessee. They move up 1 spot to number 9. Penn State is number 16. Nebraska slips all the way to number 17. And in golf, the final round of the Shark Shootout. This is Greg Norman's first tournament since returning from shoulder surgery. He birdies the final hole, so he and partner Steve Elkington tie John Cook and Peter Jacobsen for the lead. And when Elkington hits this approach close in the playoff, it was all over. Nice way to come back when you win your own tournament. And you hate to say it, but a little funny there. But Greg Norman has the talent to win anytime he steps on the
Good to see him back.
Good to see him healthy again.
I think they missed him on the tour. Thank you, John. Patty has a look at your wake-up weather coming up, and we'll take you to a store where you can Christmas shop and help other folks at the same time.
They say technology gives you the freedom to experience the world, especially when it's so affordable. Like Jeep Cherokee Sport, with air, power windows and locks, and remote keyless entry at no extra charge. Cherokee Sport. Now that's a cool way to access the sights you see online. See your Key States Jeep dealer.
At Pennsylvania American Water Company, we never forget that water is precious and that making it flow is our responsibility. Every day we work to protect and improve the one thing none of us can live without. We monitor, test, purify, test again. From the hydrant to the tap, our obligation is to you. Operating treatment facilities, keeping your costs low, pouring on the service. At Pennsylvania American Water, our commitment is crystal clear.
This week, News 8 is on your side with these investigative reports. They're cute, cuddly, and some of them are expensive. But what if your new dog is unhealthy? You get your money back, right? News 8's Susan Shapiro investigates. Also this week, sounds convenient. Get online and voila. Beer, wine, liquor, all delivered right to your door. Not so fast. It's illegal. So who's feeding this $1 million business? News 8's Dennis Bruderbaugh investigates booze online. Stay tuned for these in-depth reports this week on News 8. Coverage you can count on.
Plymouth people. They know a good thing when they see it, and they know where to get it. On Plymouth Neon, get $1,500 cash allowance or low 1.9 financing for up to 60 months. Or choose Plymouth Breeze with $1,000 cash allowance or low financing. Even the Plymouth Voyager now costs less. And check out the new Plymouth Prowler. Join the Plymouth people at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer. See your Central Pennsylvania Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
Closed captioning is underwritten by Weaver Markets, your surefine food stores.
Monday morning, what in the world will it be like?
It'll be chilly. As a matter of fact, looking at the satellite one more time for tonight, clear skies mean that we're going to lose a lot of the heat that we had for today. Wish we could hold on to it, but it doesn't look like it. As a matter of fact, you're going to wake up to temperatures in the 30s tomorrow morning. A little bit warmer, of course, around the cities, but in the valleys you could be near freezing. It's going to be a nippy one.
All right, thank you, Pat. Finally this evening, the Junior League of Lancaster held its 4th annual Holiday Shops today. The league treated shoppers to a ballet performance, and that was kind of a nice break from all the early holiday shopping. The league then brought together 30 vendors from up and down the East Coast for the entire weekend.
I'm Paul Ryan in Akron, Ohio.
Hey, and Paul Ryan was there, sounds like from Akron, Ohio. Anyway, the league last year raised $23,000. I heard of Paul Ryan. Did you hear him? Yeah. They raised $23,000 last year through the holiday shops, and we hope they did well again this year. Thank you for watching News 8. Our next newscast comes your way at 5:30 in the morning. I heard Paul Ryan. Did you? Now for John Reppitz, Patty Derrick, and all of us at News 8, I'm Dennis Bruderbaugh. Have a good night.
99 Ford Taurus awarded the government's highest safety rating, 5 stars. Accord doesn't have it. Camry doesn't have it. Dodge, Chevy. Only the Taurus has a 5-star safety rating. The 99 Ford Taurus. Need another reason? Here are the best reasons of all. The best protection available for you and your family, and all for $1,000 less than last year. Just $17,995. Ford Taurus, built to last. A great reason to see your Quality Plus Ford dealer.